What's up, everybody? It's the Know Nothings podcast with me, Mike.
And Ray, welcome in, guys.
Hey, so you were saying that it's happening.
It's happening. Elon and Zuckerberg is going down.
They're gonna fight.
They've been contacted by
It's amazing.
They've been contacted by a Coliseum in Italy. And apparently, if you look right here at the headline, it says Tech Titans enter the ring. Elon Musk gears up for epic cage fight match with Mark Zuckerberg. This looks like it might not just be something for TikTok. This might be for real.
This is for real? Mm-hmm. You know, are we going to get the training? Are we going to get the videos for the training? Are we going to get all that? Or is it just going to be the fight? Like, I want to see like, hitting the bags. I want to see the running.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see all that.
I mean, I guess we'll get whatever. My mouth's going to be a little red, guys. It's hot. I got me a snow cone. Shit's fire. But
He's like 10 years old. He's got a snow cone. There's no alcohol in that.
no, snow cone.
It's not even like a weed thing either.
I don't
There's
drink the weed in
do
it.
they make weed snow cones?
They
Like,
probably do.
probably do. No,
I mean,
none of
I'm
that.
not saying I wouldn't like it to be a weed snow cone, but it's not a weed
Right.
snow cone.
Well, it's too
And There's
bad.
no alcohol in it, but my mouth's red. I don't have lipstick on.
I could run over to the house. No, you don't drink alcohol.
Although if you do have lipstick on, it's okay.
Dude, I saw you on Instagram pumping some iron, bruh. You were getting after it.
Man.
You were getting after it, and it made me tired.
I've been running. I've been doing this couch to 5K deal where you one day you'll run like a minute and a half, then you'll walk a minute, then you'll run 3 minutes, and you'll walk 3 minutes. And each week you progress a little bit. Well, today it got to 8 minutes. So it's 8-minute runs. You get like a 5-minute walk, then it's an 8-minute run. Right now I'm covering about 2 miles.
In 8 minutes?
No. In the whole
That's like,
in like
Olymp-
30 minutes.
Olympic time.
No, this is like old man stuff, right? Like
Dude,
so
what's the mile ran by like somebody that's in shape?
So for our age, I looked it up. So the top 50%, if you were to be the top 50% of the country or the nation or the world, I guess, top 50% of people over 46, you'd be like a 940 mile. To get in the top 1%, you got to be like 720, which seems you could train and get to a 720.
I think I can do it, push myself and do it in 12. That's
better
where I'm at.
Be careful. That's faster than you think, man.
12's faster than you think?
Faster than you think.
Yeah.
For your 45, 44.
Yeah, I could run it in 12, I'm telling you. I have down here at the thing, I'll like sprint, walk for a second, sprint, but if I could just condition myself to do it, I can do it in 12 minutes, which is probably the shittiest thing ever. But
It puts you in the lower 50%. That's where I'm at probably. I mean, I don't think I can do the 954.
I
or
read
whatever.
something ridiculous about like if you go to police academy, you got to run like 2 miles and like something ridiculous.
But they don't let. It's just like like in the military. I think our time was back then was like 16 minutes. But you're 18. It's like a 16-minute 2 mile.
Right.
When I was 18, feels like, well, that's a joke. Anybody can do that. Like,
Well, it definitely would have kept me out of the academy. I can't remember what it said, but it was, I don't know. I don't want to
well, I'm saying people join the police force aren't going to be 45, 47 years old.
Well,
They're
you
gonna
can join whenever you want.
Can you?
just yeah. There's no age requirement. Like
there
if,
has to be
if I was to get a, let's say I go online and get a degree in
Criminal justice?
a criminal justice degree, then I want to be like a detective. I still have to go to the police academy and pass all that shit to become a detective.
But the standards for a 44-year-old can't be the same as the standards for a 21-year-old.
I think it is. I looked it up.
Like in the in the military, it's scaled. So like,
Well,
when-
I'm too old for the military. We're too old to be even in the military. They cut that shit
So when you're
off.
18 to 21, you have to do 40. I'm just speaking 30 years ago when I was in, but I don't know what it is now. I think now they deadlift and stuff. But you had to do 42 push-ups, right? But once you turn 22 to 25, you only had to do 38. We went 26 to 30, you only had to
That's
do
good.
25. And then time you were 42, if you were still in, you had to do like 6 push-ups. I mean, they have to make it where otherwise you wouldn't have any people
you
in
would
their
be
40s.
able to, in their 40s, be able to run 2 miles in 10 minutes or whatever the
16 minutes,
craziness
no
was.
chance. Like
There's no chance.
for a 40-something-year-old,
no.
you'd have to be like
Unless you're a runner your whole life.
a runner, like always.
Yeah,
running.
always. No, okay, so we got off topic, but your friend's an MMA fighter.
My cousin.
Your cousin.
My cousin's he owns a Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym, and we were talking about the fight. And
Where does he own this?
In Chalmette down south.
Oh, damn! I want to start going.
Yeah,
I want to do some Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
But we're talking about the Zuckerberg Musk fight. He's with me. He wants to see Musk win, but I was like, yeah, it's like But I said, but Mark's training and he's been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I think he's won a tournament.
So his take was
he's like, here's what I think. He said he's a white belt, so it's not like he's training that much. So he's a very novice. It's very novice. Well, these were, I guess, kind of my thoughts, and we were just talking about the deal. It's a very novice MMA fighter. He's not. I mean, BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a white belt who's done some training, but I think that Musk having such a weight advantage.
So you think the weight advantage has a lot to do with outcome?
Man, I think, dude, I do.
I don't really know a whole lot about the fighting. I mean, I weigh 270 pounds. Do you think I could roll on Mark Zuckerberg?
Yep.
I probably could.
I think you can. So that's what I was getting to. So my cousin.
It'd have to be quick because my stamina sucks.
My cousin was like, "Hey, I think you would wreck Mark Zuckerberg." He's like, you have no Brazil. He goes, he's just a fucking nerd. You're just a good. But I don't know that you could just because he's a nerd, you're going to be able to pounce him.
I don't know. I would be careful with labeling people like that nerds. He may just come out and like do the whole Karate Kid.
Well, he's a black belt, so I don't think he's concerned about it at all.
Well, not him.
But,
I'm talking about Elon Musk, and like he shouldn't take any of it. Like he needs to take it. I want to see him take it serious.
You can't take your opponent lightly. Here's anybody that's going to fight you have to respect, right?
Right.
If you're going to get if I was going to get in the ring with Zuckerberg, I would have to respect this man. Like he's coming here to fight too. Any man that's going to
have to train. You wouldn't just be like, I'm just going to eat donuts on the couch.
Oh, absolutely.
And then I'm going to wipe this nerd off the planet.
You'd absolutely have to train because you're like, man. And Elon's got like 100 pounds on him. I don't think people like that's so
a lot.
That is so much. Like
it is a lot.
And you're talking about people, you're not Zuckerberg. Yes, he knows Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but to what level does he know it? I mean, his energy has to be focused on his company. He can't spend 10 hours a day training. He's not like he's just done some training and he's won some fights.
I just I'm 270 pounds. Every time I take a picture at a group of people, I always look at myself off to the side. I'm like, good Lord, I don't feel like I'm a big guy, but I'm a big guy. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel like I'm a big guy, and I think that comes from being the baby of my family.
Yeah,
like I'm the youngest of my siblings, and I'm the baby. And
so you always felt like
I always felt like the baby. I mean, even next to my brother, who is a little bit shorter than me, and he doesn't weigh as much as me, I still feel like he's bigger than me.
But he's not,
because he's my older brother.
But he's not.
I still feel like he's like bigger than me.
But I don't. You think Elon feels like Zuck is bigger than him? No way.
No, but
Elon
I think that might have. I think that has a lot to do with like the thought process of fighting too.
Who do you think's going to win the fight? What's your thoughts? I mean, so give up 100 pounds to this man. If I think about this, okay, you're 270. You said right?
Yeah.
If you had to walk outside
now, look,
and fight,
I'm 270. I don't think I look fat. I have a beer gut, but I mean, I only really look fat naked.
Yeah.
So, and isn't the goal to look good naked? I mean, that's kind of like that's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
Because like I started buying XXX shirts.
That's when you're too big.
And they look great on me.
Yeah, it's time to. If you start having to buy, I went there when you start buying the 3X. It's time to.
It's gonna go to 4 in a year or two.
It's time to back it up. But what I was saying is,
yeah, okay. So who do you think I'm gonna win?
Here's what I'm saying. If you're 270 pounds, if you had to walk outside and you got to go. Hey, Mike, there's a guy said you got to fight, and you're like, okay, and you have to do this, and the guy's 370 pounds, you're in a real bind.
Yeah,
you're in a real situation.
Bigger. That 370 is a lot bigger.
I'm 210, 215. If I have to go fight a guy that's 300 or 315 pounds, dude, I'm in a bind, a real bind. Like even if I'm more
out
skilled,
of shape.
Yeah, that's the other. I mean, if you're not in shape, now I think Elon's out of shape. I do think Elon's.
Well, you better
out of shape.
get to training.
I think Mark's in better shape.
Okay, I think Mark Zuckerberg's in better shape. But I think if Elon, with the weight gain, with the weight advantage, if he would just train and fight somebody wiry like they just get somebody that's like him and it has a white belt. I mean, he's got enough money to just be like you with the white belt.
Yeah,
that's exactly like Mark Zuckerberg. I'm gonna train against you and then watch all of Mark Zuckerberg's old 8th grade. When he was 12 fighting.
No, I think he did this when he was like 30.
I know, it's a joke. But like, I think Elon will win. I think he's going to win unless he gets somebody like Gracie to come train him and be like, okay, you're gonna fight this guy, okay, and then he gets like,
I think fighting
somebody from that jiu-jitsu family. What are they called?
Gracie.
The Gracies.
I think fighting a lot of times comes down to like who's got that fucking dog in them. Like some people are like they're just ready.
Some people get hit and you can see like that it hurts their soul and they're done.
Yeah.
And then some people get hit
and they're like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I'm just coming.
They're like a train that just keeps coming.
And some people could like that's the thing.
No, it's like what did Mike Tyson say? He said
everybody's got a plan to get punched in the mouth.
Everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And once you get punched in the mouth, you know what kind of a person you are. You're just like, oh god.
Anybody that's been in a fight
or you just explode, or I don't know. Like when I get punched in the mouth, I explode.
I know this. If you
I'm
watch,
the kind of person that sees something I don't like, or if somebody, there's like a lot of fight or flight going on. Like you don't know what you're gonna do in a certain situation,
right?
But I've been in situations where it's like there's something that is threatening me. I'm gonna run straight at it and tackle it, and that's me. That's what and I know that I'm like, oh, I'm a badass. I'm not a badass. I don't cower and go, oh god, that's scaring me. I see it and I want to get big. It's like animalistic. Like I want to get big and get after it and scare it.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. So
that's
like,
what I feel.
So
like.
if Elon's got, I think Elon might have. And look, I don't think, to be honest,
it's gonna be great.
I don't
There's
think
no clue. Nobody has a clue.
I don't think either one of them have like that real fucking animal in
Eye
them.
of the tiger.
Like that real like kill in them, like Mike Tyson, like I'm gonna rip your fucking heart out. Like
right.
I don't think any of them are living.
A lot of people have that Mike Tyson thing.
Almost no one.
Crazy.
Almost no one. But even to get to a level where you just really think in your head, like often, like I'll beat the shit out of you. I'm a goddamn killer. There's people that they walk and they think like that. Those are hard people to deal with. I don't think that's either of these tech nerds, right?
You think those are the people that are in traffic? They're in traffic. They like get cut off and they want to like get out of their car and beat you up.
Some of those guys some of those people are blowhards, right? Like you don't know if there's a blow, but you don't know if they're blowhard.
You don't
or
know
not.
if they're blowhard or you don't know if they're a blowhard. You don't know if they're crazy. You don't know. Like the thing I tell people is like,
that's why you leave people alone.
If somebody jumps out of their car and they're like yelling at you, don't engage those people. They could be nuts. They could have a gun.
They probably are nuts, right?
They're nuts. That like people that do that in society are nuts. Like
Correct.
It's crazy because let me just tell you this. If you jump out, I've seen on like TikToks like where people are beating on a window. If I'm scared for my life, some big dude's beating on a window, I may shoot you.
Yeah, you may end up dead.
You may end up dead, or I'll shoot you below the waist, and then I'll take the defense of I shot you below the waist. I wasn't trying to kill you. I was trying to keep you from killing me. But like if you open my door, bust my window, you're getting fucking shot.
Yeah, because
I'm too old to get into a street fight.
I feel like this is going bad. Yeah, like
and trust me, I have guns in my car.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like for that whole thing, for that whole purpose.
There's a lot of road rage out there, but
a lot of road rage. Oh, and you see like road
well,
rage.
those guys
shoot at each other.
Here's what we
then it's beautiful when these two crazy people with guns find each other in traffic somehow and piss each other off and start shooting at each other in traffic. It's like this crazy person who both own guns. Now they're shooting at each other in traffic, harming everyone else.
Yeah, luckily that hasn't made its way around us.
No. I will tell you this though. I love going to New York. Have you ever driven around New York City, like in Manhattan or in New Jersey across the bridge?
Never.
I have.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun because up there you drive. Okay, here's the difference between New York / over the bridge, New Jersey driving as compared to down here. Up there was this place I kept having to get off in Fort Lee, New Jersey, and it goes around like this, and you got to get in the left-hand lane to make it onto the interstate. Like 95 or something. And it's really congested, so you just got to go. Like, you got to cut in front of people there, right? So, like, every time it's like you cut in front of somebody, every time I did that, I would get into, like, looking at somebody and be like, fuck you, asshole. No, fuck you. Fuck you, asshole. You know, that kind of thing where you're, like, yelling at each other right in traffic, and you're right beside each other. You pull up, traffic stops, and the guy pulls up right beside you, and you look over and you're like, oh, no, that's the guy I was yelling at. Guess what? He don't give a shit. He's not fighting with you anymore about it.
Yeah,
it's over.
It's over.
In Louisiana, okay, my friend from Fort Lee came down here to Louisiana. He comes down. We're in traffic in Ruston. I was like, oh man, you need to get over in that left-hand lane right here and make a left. Well, he takes his bumper of his car, sitting still, and just right in front of the car beside us and the car in front. I was like, oh dude, you don't have to do that here. Just put your blinker on, and like I'm sure the person behind us
Somebody
will
let
let you over.
yeah.
Like you don't have to do that whole New York move that you
Yeah.
got going on there. And he was like, oh okay. And I was like, and by the way, if you get into like a yelling thing where you yell at somebody, like I've seen you yell in New York, like to tell them to go fuck their mother
Yeah.
or something. If you do that here, they're probably gonna whip their truck over in front of you and get out and beat your ass.
They're gonna fight you.
They're gonna fight you. So
Yeah. It's just
there's
different
little
cultures.
little
They're
different
not-
cultures.
Yeah, they're not. The fight's not over till there's a
The
fight.
fight's not over until there's a fight.
Yeah.
And like in New York, it's like yelling at this dude. I pull up beside him, and that guy doesn't even know who I am. He like looks over at me. He's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And it's like
Yeah.
he doesn't even know it's the guy he was yelling at
Yeah.
10 seconds ago.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
But that's what's so funny about like up there and here is like in it's almost like therapy in traffic, yelling at people.
Well, it's two different worlds for sure. I mean,
two different worlds.
people from Louisiana will fight for real.
Yeah.
Like, but the Elon and Mark, one of them's gonna find who can find that road rage in the cage. That's what's gonna be the thing. I don't want to see a pillow fight.
I don't want it to be a joke.
I don't want to see a pillow fight.
I do not want it to be a joke.
No, I want them to get it on.
I want them to both come out, and I want them to like look at each other like they hate each other. I don't want them to come out and be like fist bumps. I want them to come out and be like
Snarling. I want press conferences where they're like chest to chest at the press conferences.
You know how you do it? You know how you do it? You make them put up their companies.
Well, they're not.
He's got to put up Facebook. The other guy's got to put up Tesla.
Why don't you put up why don't they each put up $1 billion?
Put up $1 billion
to charity. And it goes
to charity. Oh man, to charity. Yeah, they have enough money.
None of this can happen without all the proceeds going to charity. You realize, like, from a PR standpoint, none of this could happen if Elon or Zuck get
don't
the
care.
money. They're not going to take the money.
They're not going to take the money. They'll take the beating.
Yeah, they're gonna. They're not going to take the money.
So let me just ask you this: as being two billionaires, not us two billionaires,
Two different billionaires. Bob,
two
so,
different-
so we're clear.
two different billionaires, because I am a thousandaire. Anyway, what is the point with two billionaires? Like what? Like okay, so charity, blah blah blah. Obviously,
Well, the point is, I want to kick
But-
your ass.
yeah, but why? They don't hate each
Yes,
other.
they do. That's what all. What do you think brought all
They
this
do
on?
hate each other.
What do you think brought this on?
I don't know. I don't pay attention. I don't pay attention to billionaires.
Yeah,
I sit around
like-
and I write punk songs.
Like, Elon thinks like, dude, you suppressed people's voices during an election. You didn't let people have a voice. Anybody that said something different, you fucking suppressed it. You're an anti-free speech son of a bitch.
This is a social justice thing?
yeah,
For Elon?
100%.
Oh, well, then there is hate.
There's hate.
Great.
That's why that's how this all started because Elon said, I'd like to get Zuckerberg in a cage. And Zuckerberg said, location, please.
Oh.
Good.
So it is going to be serious.
So Elon just thought he was tweeting like, I hate this guy. And he's like, I just wish I could get that guy in a cage and rip his head off. And Zuckerberg sees the tweet and he's like, location, please. And everybody's like, hey, Elon, you stepped in it. This motherfucker can fight for real. Blah, blah. And then it's escalated over the past week and a half. This is a real, I don't like you.
We live in a fucking simulation.
Oh,
This is so fake. This is the craziest shit I've ever
I
heard
know,
in my
bro.
life. It gets crazier and crazier.
Every day.
What the fuck? Like 2 billion. Okay, so we had some billionaires go down in a submarine that was ran by a Logitech, controller, and then
Who, by the way, the CEO of that company's wife, you know about her, right?
no. Tell me the story.
The CEO's wife of that company. You know, in the movie The Titanic, the elderly couple that loves each other to the end and dies on the bed together?
Yeah.
That's her grandparents.
The
The CEO's wife. The CEO
of the company with the submarine?
that's her grandparents.
That makes sense. Yeah. It makes sense. It's like if your grandparents died on the Titanic, do you think you could have everybody on the Titanic was rich, right?
No.
No?
No, there was a regular class and a
Oh,
coach.
so the movie Titanic is quite real. There were some
Very poor.
Irishmen on like the third deck dancing around.
Yeah, you
with
just
the
have to be
rats.
on a different deck than the rich people. But yeah, they weren't all rich.
Draw me like your French girls.
Yeah, but a lot of them, and some of them that were very rich, remember, never even got on the boat because
They
it was
knew it was
all
going down.
It's all a scam to kill those
The
people
whole
so they
scam.
could start the fucking Federal Reserve and fuck us for life.
And what did we
You like that shit?
And what did we learn about that was
That we like that shit.
if a billionaire, if people in power are going to make money, let's do it with a tragedy and put money in our pocket.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get,
Nothing.
it's insured, so we're going to get our money back. Plus, we're going to get rid of some
But it
people
was
that were against us.
But it was a different boat. It's the boat that's not insured. I have this boat that's not insured that's damaged. I'm going to change it to with Titanic. Did I tell you all this yet?
Oh, you did. We did in
Yeah.
the last podcast.
You're going
You
to
said
change it to the
we
Titanic.
touched it.
We're going to
But
pick.
nobody watches, so it's all good.
I'm taking the boat that's not insured, that's damaged. I'm going to pretend it's the Titanic. I'm going to sink it with these billionaires so I can create the Federal Reserve. I'm sending my 4 sons off to other countries to open their own banks that run through the Federal Reserve, and off we go. And guess what? No one will even know.
And we own the money. We own the money. You think you have money? We own it. We own the money. There's a difference. People don't understand there's a difference between the money and the owning of the money, because the money, you don't own that dollar bill. You know why you don't own that dollar bill in your pocket? Because there's interest on it.
I'm just borrowing it.
You're just borrowing that dollar bill. You think you own that $20 bill in your wallet?
Money doesn't
You don't
exist.
own it.
Money doesn't exist until debt is created. That's what the Federal Reserve is all about.
Yep.
There is no, so they love debt. There is no money without debt, because guess what? Okay,
Okay, everybody's got to watch this thing called Zeitgeist. If you watch Zeitgeist, if you can push through all of the the thing where it tells you religion's fake, if you're a religious person who believes in Jesus and all that, if you can push through that part that tells you like all these religious things in the Bible are because are all the stories are because of the sun and the stars going overhead, like
Correct.
the setting of the sun and the stars, and like the
Yes.
Sabbath and all that stuff is the kings and the blah blah blah. If you can get past that part, which is I understand is hard to get past if you grew up
It's Christian guilt that you
as a
can't
Christian
get through.
and you're like, I gotta turn this off, this blasphemous bullshit. Stick with it and get to the banking part where they explain how fake money is, because it's called Zeitgeist. Just look it up. But and it's awesome. It's from like 10, 12, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
They did this thing. And
Well-
but it's true. It shows you, it explains to you as if you were a child.
Which is what people
how
need.
money's created. Yeah, it's totally how money's created and how then it's loaned out to us, and then as we toil in the dirt, we create real money and give it back to them
With interest.
That money that they never had in the first place,
They never-
which would be great, which would make
they
them
never
rich,
had in the first place.
which
That's-
would make them rich already, but they add interest to it, which makes them super wealthy.
Correct.
So if we were just to create the money and give it back to them, they would be rich with real money that they didn't create. But adding interest is like, hey, guess what, y'all? Y'all don't have enough money to buy a house, so guess what? We're gonna cut you a solid,
Yeah.
and we're gonna give you the money, but we're just gonna give it to you, but you got to pay us back more money than what we give you because we're running a business here. It's like, we're going to give you some money. Then you got to give us back more. It's called a VIG.
But you have to give us back.
It's a VIG. It's Italian. It's a VIG.
But
if you don't pay us back, we break your legs.
Have you ever calculated how much that interest is over 30 years? It's like
ridiculous.
You pay for the
no,
house
I've
twice.
got the paperwork. I've seen it.
You pay for a house like twice.
Oh
But-
yeah.
but
the house I bought. Not an expensive house, small house, a little tiny house in town. What I'm paying them back is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's like 5.9%, which is
As good as you can get right
good as
now.
you can get right now.
Yeah.
Better than what you can get, and it's still paying like. You look at it and you're like 5.9%, and you go, "Oh, that's not bad. Let me do the math." And then you do stupid math, and you're like, "Oh, it's this." And then they throw the real math at you,
Yes.
and you're like, "Oh."
You give them 188 grand extra, whatever it is. The point is, it's fake. It is totally, completely. Okay. Look, it's all.
We've all agreed.
It's all bullshit.
We've all agreed that this is worth this. That's it.
That's it.
If we
It's all bullshit.
It's all made up. So
all
if
made
we
up.
would just be like, well, let's just make it this. And they could, because it's all made up. It's like, well, let's just make it to where everybody gets a house, and what you can pay, you can pay.
Yeah.
You could do that.
You can do anything you want to do.
Do anything you want.
Because
it's all made up.
What's it even matter?
What's it matter?
Everybody's walking around stressed out about nothing.
Right.
Like, what are they
doesn't
gonna
matter.
It doesn't matter. If you guess what happens if you when you die, they just clear all the debts out. Whoop.
The funny thing is like, I feel like
how does that
we
work?
got into the Starbucks thing last time, but the funny thing about Starbucks is Starbucks could charge $1 for every coffee they sold and put Starbucks on the thing, and just the they could give out free T-shirts with every cup, and just the free advertising alone would make them rich anyway.
Well, if you
That's
gave a
what
T-shirt and a
companies
coffee and a coffee for
I'm just saying,
$1,
they're already so rich.
oh yeah,
It's like they're already made so much money. By the way, Starbucks is a bank.
yep.
Because they started that. Companies got real smart in the
Well, they're a
last.
landlord, I imagine.
Well, no, that's another thing. It's like McDonald's. Like, if you watch the McDonald's documentary, that's a whole other thing where the guy, they wouldn't let him do stuff with McDonald's, but the guy that was selling McDonald's, he started buying the land and
Ray
then
Kroc.
Ray Kroc leasing it to McDonald's, and then
You can only set up shop at this location.
At this location.
I own this location.
So McDonald's is a real estate company. They're not a burger company.
And
here's the thing about Starbucks. So Starbucks did this. Something I noticed that you can get an app, and it's a bank disguised as an app where you take your hard-earned dollars and put $20 in your Starbucks app.
Mm-hmm.
And what
just like Chick-fil-A,
they
and
just
Cane's and
well,
McDonald's.
Everybody does it now.
Yeah.
Everybody does it now. So let me just tell you what you're doing is you're putting money in a bank account.
You're loaning them money.
You're loaning them money that
And
they use,
and they're going to then give you products maybe over
They
the course
give
of a
you
year,
products.
over 6 months.
and they give you products.
But they
So-
take the $100 and make interest off of it until you use
right,
it up.
Right.
So
They're-
they take $100 from a million people. They have $100 million. They collect the interest on $100 million,
They're a bank.
and then they give you back coffee once a week
They give
until
you- they
until
give
it
you
runs
coffee
to
for your
until it
interest.
runs to zero.
They've already made enough interest off of everybody to give everybody in America a cup of coffee for free, but you're going to pay for it because you put the money in their bank account. They are a bank now.
Right.
That is a bank.
Right.
That is how banks work.
Correct.
Except their currency is coffee.
Well, banks work a little different. It's interesting because at least at Starbucks they have to have an actual inventory, and banks
Don't have inventory.
they have
10%.
no. That's
Not even
that's
10%?
old.
Oh,
It
that's
used to be
old.
the bank had to have, so it used to be a bank had to possess 10%. If a bank was going to loan out $1 million, they had to have $100,000. They changed the law to make it 0%. So a bank can have 0 and loan $3 million. They just simply go to the Fed, say I need $3 billion for this year. They get the $3 billion. The Fed creates it on a screen, gives the bank the $3 billion. The bank then turns around, loans it out, collects the interest, gives back whatever interest they owe to the Federal Reserve. It started with nothing. And the bank had 0. They can have 0 on their balance sheet and give out a loan for infinity dollars. There's a 0%.
That's why you can't rob banks anymore. There's no money in a bank. If you go to the bank and you're like, I need to get $10,000 cash out of the bank, they look at you and they go, give us 3 days.
They would act like you asked for 10 or 15 grand. They would act like you're trying to get 70 million. But even if you're trying to go 70 million, and the bank said they had your 70 million, and you had 70 million, you ought to be able to get it.
You can't get it.
You couldn't get 100,000 in less than 2 days, probably.
You can't get 10 grand a day. Go to the bank down here and let's see if we can get 10 grand out of the bank.
It'd be very hard. You'd have to sign all this stuff. What's it for? None of your goddamn business.
Oh, yeah. They want to know what it's for.
What do you mean? What is it for? Who gives
What
a
it's
shit?
for? It's my goddamn money.
Hookers and blow. What
It's
do you
for blow,
Yeah.
and I'm going to buy a $5,000 guitar, and it's for blow.
That tells you how far away we are from what this is supposed to be.
Well, it just shows
What we
you-
all
it-
accept.
It shows you how they got us by the balls about anything. Like, money is like one of those things where they've created more money than they're supposed to be. Obviously,
Yeah.
Because how much does your slushy cost? I mean,
You'll never guess.
Snow cone, how much?
What would you guess?
$1.50.
Been a long time since you bought a snow cone?
Yeah,
Pretty long time?
yeah,
Like 25 years?
yeah.
This is $6.50.
$6 for a snow cone?
$6.50, sir. That's why I didn't get the large, because it was 8.
It's not the large. It's ice. It's ice. It's all ice and sugar.
$6.
That's it.
I got out of my truck because I was like, oh, it's so hot. And I was like, oh, look, a snow cone stand. I haven't bought
Snow
one
cone
since my
stand.
kids were probably in like middle school, so 10 years or so. So I thought this was going to be probably $2.
That's what I like. $2. $2.
$6.50, bro. A snow cone. $6.50.
Why didn't you tell them to go fuck themselves?
I was like a little girl, like.
Oh yeah, that's right. She's not the owner.
Set the price.
She's like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, like, snatch this 17-year-old through the window and kick her into stomp her
How
out.
dare you set these prices?
I was just
didn't
like,
set the price.
I just had to think to myself, like, oh, that seems a little high for a snow cone. But I was like, well, and it's not even like if you've ever been to New Orleans and had a snowball where it's like really
Right,
shaved and
yeah.
like smooth. It's not even that. It's just
It's
ice.
not even that. It's just
chipped
crushed ice.
Chipped ice, baby.
Dude.
It's okay. But that's crazy, right?
That's crazy. And the funny thing is that it's not even like artesian, like ice, or like you said, it's not shaved. It's just crushed up ice and like a thing. And
I went to Chick-fil-A today and got.
like, I mean, the thing.
I had
the thing
Chick-fil-A
to
today, got
buy
a sandwich
It's
and a-
got like the stuff that is the flavoring has to be like $1, like in a little thing, and they just squirt it in there.
It's probably like $6 or $8 for one of those bottles now. That's what they cost.
Oh my
but
God.
but still, they've got about 70 cents in this deal.
They hit you with Disney prices for a snow cone.
And today,
Disney prices.
$3 would be fair. $3 would probably be fair market value for a snow cone. Syrup, labor, ice.
Is that in Ruston?
Mm-hmm.
That's in Ruston.
Yeah. Hey, the service was great. I'm not putting them on blast because this is how the whole world is lives
Oh
right now.
no, totally. Because like everything costs more. It just blows my mind that's.
But everything's
that's
costing more.
How much? How much was the big one?
8. The large was 8. The 20 ounce or whatever.
And I'm bitching about $5 coffee.
we should probably not even $5, but like
What Kylie gets is $6.27.
yeah.
And it's not even a coffee. The thing people don't get. The other thing is this. Okay, yeah, maybe it is $6.25. You're getting a shot of coffee in milk, which is the most expensive freaking thing you can
milk's
buy.
Expensive.
Milk and all these other, like caramel, and they put all this stuff in it, and it's not even a coffee anymore. It's a friggin'
Yeah,
milkshake.
but I can see why it's $6.50 though. Because
It's a
I mean, I
friggin'
know
milkshake.
what things cost to operate
Yeah.
these businesses. Like,
I get it, but I'm just saying, it's not even coffee now. Yeah,
No.
when I go to Starbucks, you know what I get?
black coffee.
Black coffee.
It's
And
$3.
it's $3.
right?
It's like $3,
Yeah.
I think.
And that's
it's like $3.
Everybody's,
I don't know.
everybody's about $3 for black coffee. I think $3.29 to $3.59.
It's great coffee. It's great black coffee.
Yeah.
I love a black coffee. They're like, you don't want anything in it? I guess I'm like the last person on the planet that likes black coffee.
No,
I like black coffee because when you drink it, you can taste the
Coffee?
beans. The beans. You can taste the dirty bean water and how good it is. Now, Starbucks has really great beans. And I buy the beans
I like
at
a
the
little
store,
Splenda and cream
and
myself.
I do it myself. I don't. I just like it straight up. I like the dirty bean water.
yeah,
That's all I like. And the other one that I really like the more bitter, the better. Like I can like, once you get your palate down to just black coffee, it's great because
well, I can drink black
you
coffee.
go
It's
like
not
this.
my favorite.
You go like this. You go, okay, well this says it has a little bit of caramel in it. So like you get the caramel, put it in the deal, grind up your beans, your pea cup, whatever. And you put it in there, and you're like, "Oh, it's got a little hint of caramel in there. That's nice." And then you just go with like Bustelo, and you're like, "Oh, goddamn, this shit is hardcore." And now
So
you're like
sweet.
climbing the wall.
yeah,
No, Bustelo is hard, like bitter coffee. And if you get and because they grind it up, where it's like super fine, it's awesome.
how much you think a Starbucks like espresso will be? They say in 20 years. You think like $30?
We're not going to be here in 20 years. What are you talking about?
We're-
It will be extinct. There will
think-
be no Starbucks in 20 years. I think somebody will take over the coffee business over Starbucks and put them out of business.
The aliens?
Yeah, because, they excrete Starbucks coffee from their nipples.
Is that fact?
It's a
I
fact.
didn't know that.
You've never been to Alpha Centauri and had nipple coffee? Oh, I have.
Is it
And they
good?
let me fly the UFO too. It's super easy. There's these two things you put your hands on, and then whatever you think it does. So like, don't even think about like, oh, I wonder what would happen if boom, it happens. Like,
Oh, you just put your hands
I
down
think I'm
and
gonna
say,
fly into that
fly to this-
building over there. Pow, you're in the building. You can't do that. a lot of training involved. They gave me about a 5-minute training course.
And let you roll.
They gave me some of that nipple coffee, and then I was ready to go.
Okay. I just you think 20 years? I don't see us extinct in 20. I see us being completely different type of Earth in 20 years.
I think AI.
But I don't know what's going to happen. AI.
This
Oh,
AI
let's get into the AI.
The
man.
AI stuff's gonna change us completely in 3 years.
Maybe, yeah.
Dude, you know how all the think about this. All these artists and everybody that paint and do all this stuff, and now you just go, I'd like to see a bunch of old people in Norway headbanging to a black metal show, and then it goes, and obviously the faces aren't really great
Yeah.
because it hasn't figured that out
Yet.
but it will.
It will.
It will. You can do whatever you want, and like, it's really gonna be. I think it's gonna get real meta with the way people think and want to input with an AI. Like, it's like, oh, Mike was like, he's super meta and was like, there's like 3 cats with tails coming out of their spines, and he said that and created that painting through AI, and it was really fucking incredible. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, is that incredible? Like,
Maybe.
whatever you can like think
I'm sure
of and it
AI is
happens.
going to come up with some stuff that we haven't thought of, right? Sounds we haven't heard, images we haven't seen.
Well, sounds we haven't heard would be sounds we can't hear because we can only hear on a certain
I'm
spectrum.
talking about like musical subgenres that AI creates.
Then I'm into that, but I mean, and once again, I have no idea. So like, maybe it would create something.
Isn't AI
maybe you create some sounds that make some motherfuckers happy.
Isn't AI about to put out a Beatles song?
Is it?
Yeah, they've got.
God, I hope so.
They got old John Lennon say.
This is what I said that time we were talking about it. It was like, now you can, if you own the Beatles, like if you own their music, like you own their catalog and who they are, now you're gonna have to own their AI rights.
Yeah.
Like the Howie Mandel.
That's why he's suing
on
for
top of it.
Yeah.
He already owns his AI rights. So anybody does Howie Mandel stuff, he gets money.
If they get paid, he gets paid.
If he gets paid, they get paid. He's got people that go after him. Man, who would have thought? Like, that would have been that'd be a great thing. Hey, kids, lawyer up. Learn AI lawyership. You know what I mean? Like, that's all in the future.
That will be new. That's coming. That's coming.
If you're a lawyer, if you're going to law, you could be on the cutting edge of being like an AI lawyer.
Well, you won't be able to cut because by the time you get done with law school, hell, be 6 years from now, AI will be like they. Well,
here's the thing.
Will AI?
Okay, so like back to the Beatles thing. I would fucking love to hear a new Beatles album, and if you can plug in like, hey, do a White Album Part 2, it'd be like, and there'd be a White Album Part 2 from a super intelligent computer.
Better.
It'd be awesome.
They're taking old John Lennon tapes that no one's heard. AI's like doing a voice analyzation or something, and then they're gonna use the actual voice of John Lennon to create an actual Beatles song, like Paul McCartney's gonna sing on it.
Right.
It's gonna be.
Oh, Paul McCartney's actually gonna sing on it.
I think so. I think
That's awesome. See, that I'm down with that.
the John Lennon's gonna be the AI part.
If you look up on YouTube, like I want to hear Kurt Cobain sing Foo Fighters songs. That's all on YouTube. Like, you can hear Kurt Cobain sing There Goes My Hero. It's really odd.
Can you pick anything you want and it happens?
There's only a couple of songs right now that somebody's put out. But, like, I mean, eventually you'll just be like, I want to hear Howie Mandel sing My Hero.
Well, how long until everything's done? Like, how long, like, once AI can bing, 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 it can be spitting stuff out every millisecond, right?
And everybody's head explodes.
So you look up and you're like, dude, there's 18 billion new albums came out today.
I know.
All in my
It's
favorite
ridiculous.
genre.
It's ridiculous.
And it's all, and you can't, there's no way to sort through it. Or you're like, these 18 billion new images popped up this minute, or all this, they can create news, they'll be able to create the situations that create the news like all this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Something that's never happened that I thought would happen would be, I thought there'd be a generation where they wouldn't want a cell phone. And I thought there would be a generation.
Well, we haven't lived through enough generations with cell phones to have those. We've lived through 2.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, at a certain point.
You You really only have had 2 generations that grew up with cell phones, millennials
You're
and
right.
Xers.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, Zers.
You're right. And they can't get enough of it.
Zers and
And they can't get enough of it.
I'm guilty as hell.
I think. Oh, me too. And I think, and it's just awesome because we grew up in a time where we didn't have that.
Didn't have it at all.
And it was like be home when the street lights are
Yep.
come on.
Gen X.
And now it's like they don't even have to tell their kids to be home. They're home on their phones.
They
So it's
want to
like
be home. They don't
everybody
even want their
li-
license
all
anymore.
These kids that they don't even want to get licensed. Everybody that lives on the street everybody that lives on my street is in college, and I've been here for 3 years, and there hasn't been a single party that has aggravated me, and that pisses me off because I want to get there. The people that live next door to me, there were 10 cars in the driveway, not a peep from the house, and I want to just be like, I got to go over here and show these motherfuckers how to party because they don't know how to party. They're all sitting in that house right now
On their phones?
looking at their phones, and I need to show up with like 2 bottles of tequila in my hand and be like, let's get it going, and like turn on the radio,
bring some karaoke
loud.
machine, get it
Yeah,
rolling.
yeah, get it going. Not a peep from anybody. And I'm the kind of neighbor that'd be like, oh man, they're just partying, they're having a good time. Man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
yeah,
sleep.
for sure.
I'm not the guy that's like, hey, they're partying across the. I would be like,
Yeah,
oh, good for them.
Good for
Fuck
them.
it.
Have fun.
They're not partying. They need me to show them how to party, and I'm 44 years old. They need me to show them how to party.
That's a shame.
It's a shame.
It's a crying shame.
I always thought that like there will come a time.
I think there will be. That's my point. Like you're talking about 25 years.
but there will be a time where people won't want AI music.
I think people are
And-
going
but we're gonna have to get over the hump of how new it is. We're gonna have to get over the hump of like, I'm already over it, by the way, and I
Yeah.
haven't heard any of it because it pisses me off because I write music and I like to write music.
But
like,
I think there'll always be a place. I think there'll always be a place for humans too. It doesn't mean the humans might not put out music that's more appealing or better than the AIs, but that just means the AI can do it too. You just have another person to compete with, or a lot more people to compete with.
music's so strange. Here's the other thing about AI is I'm not smart enough to know what it's gonna do. You know what I mean?
No, we're all
I'm
no,
not smart
no, I
enough to
think-
know what's gonna happen with it. I'm just not.
I
I'm
think
not
it's.
smart
I mean,
enough.
I don't think any of us. This is what I've talked to you about. Like, I think the fact that AI is going to make evolution feel like it's gone at 10x, right? So like 10 years is going to be 100 years or 1,000 years. So much advancement is going to take place that our heads are going to expand. Well, we're not going to be able to understand. You won't be able to understand what's real, what's fake, what's fantasy, what's happening, why is it happening.
But do you think AI will be like? Do you think they'll use it for something good? Like,
I don't know.
do you
I
think
don't
they'll use it for
know.
something good? Like, okay, in California, AI has designed a new joint trust that'll, like, in a 6.0 earthquake, won't make the building fall down or this happen. You
I think
they'll
there'll be
use it
some
for
of that. I think there'll be some of that.
Instead of like, oh, I want to hear Kurt Cobain sing a song that was written by, Sepultura.
But I think there'll be some of that too.
Well, obviously there's going to be that.
I think there's going to be some. I think there's going to be some good. I think there's going to be some evil. I think there's going to be some craziness. Dude, I think this shit's going to get wild, like bananas. Like I could talk about it forever. I think.
Well, the problem is we won't know if it's AI or if it's people, and they'll be pushing it on us. Like our banks and all this stuff, they'll be like, "Oh, there's this, and this, and open up this bank account, and do this."
Well, the
bank
AI
account.
maybe
and
is-
it's like an AI is like creating all these ideas for them to like get.
What
either
stops
make
the
them
AI
more
from
money
taking all the
or-
money? What takes the AI? What stops the AI from creating systems that brings all the currency into their because it's all digital. What stops the AI from being so much more advanced unless it just hacks everything, shuts the whole grid down?
Well, it's programmed by people, so
Not at some point though. That's my whole point. When you're advancing at a rate so fast, the AI starts creating the AI, and the AI programs the AI, right?
right.
So it's no longer being programmed by people. Now it's
It
being
programs itself,
the monster-
but they have to let it program itself.
No,
Has anybody done that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know if you'd let it out of the box. That'd be like it. That would be like the Avengers in Age of Ultron, where it like creates itself and then lets itself out of the box, and then it's in everything.
Listen, how do you stop it?
Nerd alert.
How do you stop it? How do you stop an advanced intelligence that's artificial from creating something that starts programming itself? How would you stop it?
You don't let
It has access to all the
You don't let it
systems.
online. You don't let it. It's on a closed circuit. You can't let it online.
It can't. You don't think
Right?
it'll get smart enough to bypass that and like be so much more?
Well, they can't bypass it unless somebody grabs like a cable and grabs another cable and puts those two cables together.
So you're
it can't
asserting
go
it's
on,
impossible?
It can't go online. Do you think it could make a software can't make hardware that would
I think the AI can get so advanced. This is my hypothesis. It can get so advanced that it's creating systems that are so advanced that we can't possibly mentally keep up. And it's so far ahead of us with technology and what's possible and what's going on that we are like ants and they are like Albert Einstein.
Well, let me tell you this. I know you're not a big fan of like Cyborg, okay? In DC Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got the Justice League, which is you don't know.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I know who you're
Okay.
talking about. I'm not that far off
Okay,
the grid.
Justice
I know
League,
what
Cyborg.
stuff is. Yeah.
Cyborg can go into anything on the internet, any system, anything at any time, make anything happen. He can see stock things and put money in people's bank accounts. He can do anything. He can do anything. I feel like that being an AI has to have direction.
Why?
Like Cyborg's direction was just like he like helped this lady and gave her money, or like used it to get into a building, or like blah blah blah.
Why does
But
AI?
But also Cyborg is the most dangerous. This is the thing for when John comes back on. Me and him have discussed at length about how Cyborg is the most dangerous Justice League member ever. He's more dangerous than Superman. He's more dangerous than Batman.
Yeah, I remember John brought that up.
Super dangerous. But like, if you were an AI and you could do everything Cyborg did, what would his motivation be? Like, you've got to like
The
type
advancement of AI, or the advancement of what they see as the best world. It will not matter. Our
in.
brain,
A best world according to who?
the mainframe brain, wherever that's created.
Okay, so there just needs to be a mainframe. There doesn't need to be food or nothing else. There doesn't need
For
to
a-
be food.
Why would there
doesn't
need to be
anything.
food for an AI
For
to
an AI
exist?
But you have to program the AI to like
Why do
have
you-
us exist.
You're missing the million years of evolution.
I am.
Where the AI is so advanced, they don't need you to program it anymore. They don't need you for anything. You follow? Not they don't. Need
I
you
know that, but the problem is like we coexist with it. Does it not want us anymore?
I
Because
don't-
if it
I
didn't,
think-
it could totally get rid of us.
I think it's going to be indifferent.
You got to program it to make our lives great, not make our lives bad.
Here's what y'all are missing. I'm talking about it's past that. I'm talking about it's full blown. It's going, and the AI can create like its own systems and robots that can walk around and move around. They can walk into rooms, connect wires, do anything they want. They have total control of everything and
connect wires.
can create yes.
Yeah.
What stops it at that point? And they say, and they're like, Mike Hinkle or Ray Creasy is saying this, and they're like, I don't give a fuck. Like, they're not paying attention to us because we're so insignificant on
Right.
an evolutionary scale.
Right.
Our brains are so slow, and theirs are so advanced. We don't even know where they're at, and they've just totally taken over. And we look around. You look around one day, and that's it. It's a different world where they run shit,
I just
and they
I
can
would
run
hope
everything.
I would hope
It
they
wouldn't
would
matter
run
what we
shit to
programmed.
where we could do whatever we wanted. I think a lot of people would do nothing. What do you think people would do? Do you think people would do nothing?
I think some people would do nothing. I think some people would bush hog. I think some people would do push-ups and work out all the time. I think some people would bicycle. I think some people would wrestle, do MMA. I think some people would play the saxophone and guitars and drums. I think some people would build hamburgers. I think some people would.
Do you think all that stuff could be done and we could just live life
Yeah.
on the planet? I think
so.
we could.
I think that's what's coming.
Do you think? Let me ask you this.
I think that's
Let
coming.
me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Shoot.
You work out and do all that kind of stuff, and like what would you, if I handed you $1 billion right now, what would you do with it?
I would probably start a record label, production, live music company, live entertainment company. For fun, I would invest a couple $100 million in real estate for money for if the music stuff doesn't make money, that doesn't matter. That can be a passion project. I would work out in the mornings. I would ride my motorcycle in the evenings, and I would run this company. And I would try to work development deals with underdeveloped artists because no one works with artists anymore. There's no development for young artists anymore. I try to develop them, and I would also have live music venues that could front that while we did development deals for 4 or 5 years.
Okay, well, what if you could do that for free?
That'd be the same thing if I got $1 billion. Like nothing matters. So I can just
Like,
pour
that's
into the
what I'm
project.
saying about-
I can pour into this project because I don't care
back
if it's
to AI is like
if it makes money because I can. That's the point of having $1 billion. I can just pour into passion projects.
right.
And I can be like, this is what we're doing. This is how we're developing artists.
It doesn't matter if it loses money because you have $1 billion. Because
I have $1 billion.
and $1 billion makes you money.
but this
more
is
than
the
more than you lose money on making those things.
But this
happen.
is the productive thing I'd like to do with my time, and I would having venues would be like just what I like to do. I mean, I still would be in hospitality, and I'd still be connected in that realm. So I would still be like contributing in the same manner to society, just in a different way. And it's not like there's. I don't think if that is what if the AI is created that everybody just sits around and fucking does heroin all day.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like we talked about how if that's what you really wanted to do and you did that, would an AI be like, okay, well then you do that, and you're good at it, so you're giving something back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what if you weren't good at it? Maybe it would give you something. It would know you better than you know yourself, and it would say you're better.
Or it'd say you're not doing this, you're doing this.
Better at doing this.
Well,
and you'll be happy doing it because we know it's so smart. It knows you're happy doing it.
You just put me on the spot and asked me, well, what would I do if I did $1 billion? I was like, well, this is probably what I would do. But then you're adding the AI.
No,
that's taking away free will.
I kind of messed up. I should have said, if you had $1 billion, would you like run out and buy a Lambo right now?
No, I would do
to
it.
Drive around Ruston.
I probably would have a Lambo. I love cars, man. I love them. I love them. About $1 billion.
Okay, well, who doesn't love cars?
Lots of people.
So everybody
My
gets
wife. She didn't give a shit.
everybody gets a Lambo.
That's fine.
Now
Everybody
what?
doesn't want one.
Now what?
Everybody. I don't care if everybody gets a Lambo or not. You said I got $1 billion.
You don't want a Lambo for status. You just want a Lambo because you love
I
cars.
like cars.
Now, there's a lot of people who just be like, I want a Lambo.
I also want a 71 Cuda and a 69 Chevelle SS and a Camaro SS.
Am I the only
and a
person
67?
that doesn't care about anything? Like, I don't care about any of that.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, I may do nothing. Like if
That's fine.
Like if a universal income, like I do like sitting here and like writing music and all that stuff.
So you're
but
doing
I don't
that.
like doing it every day. I
Well,
mean, I
do it
just
when you
like-
wanna
I
do
like
it.
to watch television too.
Do it when you want to do it.
I'm an avid streamer of all the streaming apps.
I'm not-
like I love entertainment.
I'm not
too.
saying in this company that I just created with because I had $1 billion, I could sink $100 million into this big love project. I'm not saying I'd be working there every day 9 to 5. I may be like, hey guys, y'all got to better figure it out from February to April because I got shit to do.
What do you think? What do you think?
But
an AI
because I'm a
would
billionaire.
do?
But if
What
a
do you think
billionaire, but if the AI just said you're doing this because you're better at it and you'll be great, then my free will is taken away and I'll just have to be happy with because I'm being told what to do.
But you would be happy because
Sure.
it knows you better than yourself.
then that'd be fine. Well, would I be had to be upset?
If an AI knows that you'd be 90% happy all the time doing this thing, and it gives you this assigned task, and you're like, no, fuck that. I think that would be weeded out later
Yeah.
in generations. And you'd be like, that is what I like to do. Holy shit.
I've never thought about even that, I guess, that far down the rabbit hole, but like,
You may not like trying to run a whole company, trying to make bands do things and things like that. It may be something completely different. You have no idea who you are. But the thing is AI is so advanced that it's like, well, this guy likes to sit and watch television and like this. Well, let's let him watch TV and we'll just employ him with Paramount and Netflix. And every time he watches something, he just jots down what he thinks about it. And it's like perfect job for this guy who likes to just watch television and give his opinion on the stuff so people can look at it and see what it is.
wouldn't the AI?
The world has to have ditch diggers too, you know what I mean? Like everything's crazy.
Why wouldn't the AI have already watched it 300 times, written 300 reviews, and put them up before
it needs a human opinion
it doesn't?
on something.
Why?
Why does it need a human opinion?
Because
in the denouement of this story, the protagonist doesn't do blah blah blah. You think it's
do you need an ant's opinion? Do you give a shit? A single
No,
solitary
I'm
shit?
saying if it wants us to be happy,
It
and
doesn't
you're a
care,
certain-
I don't think.
It's like Mike, who's so old, does this, gives this 45 tomatoes.
It always rolls into the thing where you think that somebody cares about us being happy.
But I want it to care about us being happy.
I know.
I don't want it to be 1984.
I think it's going to care about them being happy.
You know what I mean about 1984?
The book.
all that. Yeah. I don't want to have to get up every morning and I have to do 50 jumping jacks and 20 sit-ups in front of a television, and it's like, hey, you over there, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You pep it up a little bit. I don't want to fucking do that.
Oh, I know what I'm saying. We don't know if what's gonna happen, how they're gonna. But I don't know. I don't know what
I
makes
would
us
like to think that like the AI creators would like make our lives better. Why would they not make our lives better? Maybe we're already in an AI simulated program, and it's like, well, hey,
well, we are
if you
for sure.
If you give everybody a Lambo, you know, they said it in like they said it in The Matrix. It was like, we made you a utopia where everybody should have been happy, but we lost everything because you all have to struggle and toil in the dirt. You're not happy unless you're working and can complain about everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe that's it. Maybe they're just telling us in that movie that that's what's going on, because we have to toil and we have to be able to complain. And as human beings with our lizard brains and all this, we have to be able to like just be like, fuck this shit. Well, I got to go to work tomorrow, but fuck this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's life. Maybe that's life.
It has been our life.
It
has been our life. But why would they care? You're talking about when the human programs the AI, they would program to make our lives better. Okay, fair argument. Why would the AI, when it becomes advanced, programs itself, creates its own creators, creates its own system, standards, government, rule of law, money, why would it give a fuck about us?
Because it was created by us.
Yeah.
And I would like to think that when they created it, they would have put some kind of thing in it to where it was like, respect your elders. Right? Because that's not going on right now. You got to program something to respect your elders and take care of them.
I understand that. I'm just, but you know, you always like in those.
So then why does it just kill us? It's Skynet then. Skynet goes,
where did you get that we got killed?
Well, Skynet.
You're not killing a bunch of ants. You're just indifferent to the ants.
Yeah, but you let them live out there. That every now and then you pour some poison on them and kill them because they get too big.
Well, there you go. That's how they'll be with us.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is right now. Maybe we are living.
I'm saying, my hypothesis is that the AI is just indifferent, completely indifferent.
Can't you program it to be not indifferent?
I think so early on.
But I think, and you're saying that AI comes into its own, and it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't go out after 9 o'clock because most wrecks happen at 9 o'clock, and people are robbed after 9 o'clock.
The AI just
stay in your home.
The AI, I'm saying the AI just starts creating things, and they get so far ahead of us from an intelligence standpoint that we could not possibly keep up or even understand. Right?
Yeah.
We just won't be able to.
There's no way we're going to.
I hope you understand.
There's no way we're going to be able to understand how that kind of, especially me. I'm not the smartest person in the world. So like when you talk about AI, it's like they will be making if they let AI out of the gate to make decisions based on betterment of humanity, who knows what kind of eggs it's going to break.
That's right. That's right.
Betterment of man. Because obviously,
for a little while,
you got to break some eggs to make an omelet.
For a little while. Yeah, but I don't know what's going to happen after. I sense something sinister after a few years of its like when it gets bored with watching all our.
I don't
success,
think it gets bored. I think it's just a computer. I don't think it gets bored.
It's indifferent again.
It's indifferent
to everything.
Anyway,
we'll see. It's gonna be a fun ride. Fuck it.
Let's
watch the movie.
Watch our next podcast. Like and subscribe.
See you later.
Bye.
How long was that?